Fellas, AC here. Welcome to another video. This is a request video. It was made by one of my subscribers. His name is James, and I believe he lives in Dallas. And what he said was, I'd like to have a video of summer fragrances that will last in hot conditions. So this video is dedicated to fragrances that, in my opinion, will give you good performance, solid performance. Sometimes in terms of longevity, sometimes in terms of projection, and sometimes in terms of both. So I've made an effort to go through my collection and pick up 10 designers which have at least 6 hours of longevity, at least 1 to 2 arms length of projection. So let's start, okay? And these fragrances will suit any occasion. So I'm talking about work, date situations during daytime, casual stuff, yeah, I'll mention those situations while we go along. So I'll start with a fragrance which I highly recommend youngsters. Yeah, I love it as well. I've reviewed it, I've done a full review. It's basically John Vivetus Artisan Pure. The bottle itself is fantastic, and this fragrance is basically a fruity fragrance. So you can call it a citrus aromatic, and it is a citrus aromatic with a woody base. So the notes are orange, I believe clementine, bergamot, so all the citrus you can imagine, there's plenty of citrus. But there's a very interesting note of marjoram. Marjoram has this orangey, spicy smell, and there's a note of thyme, and the base has some beautiful woody notes along with musk and ambergris. Today I was watching a video by Mr. Smelly, and he mentioned that this fragrance is very similar to Xerjoff's Neo. Now Neo is very expensive, yeah? This one isn't very expensive, and it gives me at least 6 hours of longevity. This is slightly sweet because of the tangerine note, but it smells divine, absolutely amazing. Very confident, clean, very friendly, amicable. That's the kind of fragrance this is, yeah? Highly recommend this for casual, also on a summer day when you're not wearing very, sort of formal clothing to work. This will work well, but it's not very work friendly. I'd avoid it, apart from Fridays when it's a dress down, at least in the UK. This works well. But yeah, any other occasion, daytime, it'll give you solid projection for at least 2 hours and beautiful longevity for at least 6 hours. You will smell divine. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. So that's the first one. And I was delighted to know this is similar to Xerjoff Neo. I've not smelled Neo, but I'll make an effort to do a comparison video. The next one is very office friendly. It can suit a formal occasion. It's very well made fragrance. It's one of my absolute favorite Vetivers. Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver. I'm showing the EDP. I've got both. The EDT has gotten me more compliments. It's more airy, it's more lemony. So this one basically is a very, very nicely made vetiver. The vetiver in this note is very similar to the vetiver you'll smell in one of the most famous vetivers I reviewed last time, and that was Guerlain's vetiver. So it's got this green facet, woody facet, but along with that there's a grapefruit. There's a very nice musk in the dry down. It's a very positive fragrance, very positive smelling fragrance. Hence, I highly recommend this for workplace situations, especially if you wear suits to work. It goes beautifully, yeah? And tried and tested. It gives me about 6 hours. The eau de parfum has a tendency to last for about 12 hours under my shirt. In summertime, I also wear my fragrances twice as much sprays under my shirt. So if I go for 2 during winter time, I'll go 4 under my shirt. And that gives me full longevity. But I can't vouch for the fact whether that sort of spray will be smelled by others. But you will get at least 6 hours, conservative estimate. Yeah, this doesn't project as much as the EDT, but still, it's a very fine scent. Amazing, actually. The next one is again, uber confident, young person's fragrance. Smells clean, as if you've jumped out of the shower, soapy and beautiful. It's a Prada. I keep talking about this Prada Amber. This came out about 10 years ago, maybe even more. I've done a full review. And this smells like, buy a soap. The soap will come packaged in a paper, yeah, under the wrapping. It smells like the greasy paper that covers the soap, literally. So it's very oily, soapy, clean and elegant. And who doesn't like to smell clean and elegant on a very hot, sweaty, humid day? So if you live in a hot and humid country, I recommend this. And don't let me dissuade you from buying this, because some of you might be thinking, oh, what's the joy in wearing a soapy, clean fragrance? There's some notes here which go very well in hot weather. Myrrh. Myrrh is a beautiful note. It's a floral, slightly incensey, creamy incensey smell. It goes beautifully in hot and humid weather. There's also iris and saffron. There's also a base of vanilla. So there's a little bit of warmth in there as well. Very interesting fragrance, guys. Highly recommend this. Doesn't cost a lot of money. And you can get this easily. Prada Amber Purone. Absolutely fantastic for very hot climatic conditions. The next one is an Alexandria fragrance. Yeah, it's one of my most complimented fragrances last summer, and I love wearing it. It is Alexandria Zion. Now look at the dent. I can't get enough of this fragrance. I've worn it through winter because it's so beautifully made. It's supposed to be a clone of Roja's Elysium. It's not exactly a clone. Elysium is a fabulous fragrance. But this in itself is a beautiful fragrance, okay? So the emphasis is on fruity spiciness. So the fruits are blackcurrant, mostly, and I think there's orange as well. And the spiciness is juniper berries, very lush juniper berry. There are other notes as well, galbanum, I believe, which makes it green and bitter. And sandalwood, creamy sandalwood, which is not there in Elysium. I've done a comparison video as well. You can check it out. But what this smells like is a fruity, spicy, woody scent. And that goes very well in very hot countries, yeah? Daytime wear. And since this is so classy, if you go lightly on your shirt, 2 sprays, because it's got huge amounts of projection, you'll do very well in work environments, yeah? I'd go 2 on my shirt, 2 behind, 1 spray behind each ear. You're done. If you live in a hot, humid country, Zion is very, very well. Very well made, and it will go very well. The usage should tell you. I can vouch for this. Excuse me. The next fragrance on this list, number 5, is probably a fragrance that smells better and better the hotter it is. Actually, the next 2, yeah? So the next one is Chanel's Allure. I always forget this name. Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. It's a mouthful. It's a badly named fragrance, but it's a beautiful fragrance. It's orange, aquatic orange with tonka and musk. Yeah. So the notes will tell you that it can't be a summer fragrance. But in my experience, you can wear this all year round. In my experience, this smells better the hotter it is because of its aquatic nature, fruity aquatic. And it's got this creamy musk, which is just outstanding in heat. Yeah, again, beautifully made, so you can wear this to work as well. But you'll have to watch the sprays because this gets stronger and stronger. By the second hour, it really guns out. So, in my opinion, less number of sprays, the better results. But you can suit it to your climatic conditions, your skin chemistry. But it's a very elegant, classy, modern sort of a scent. Highly recommend this. Why night out? Because of that orange and tonka and patchouli. It's got that pull value. It really attracts people towards you. This is a very fine fragrance. Easy wear as well. So easy wear fragrances are generally very good with compliments. Yeah, people can associate with them. They don't have to think too much. And more often than not, you will get a compliment. So Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme by Chanel. Terrific fragrance for very hot weather. Next one is Bulgari's Aquamara. Now the whole Aqua line is a no-go for me because I don't like that fishy smell, fishy aquatic sort of a ocean smell. I don't like that. But Aquamara is a different story. So this Aquamara means bitter water. This is basically bitter orange, aquatic bitter orange, as if you're sitting next to a crate of bitter orange. Somehow it's been crushed, and you're by the seaside, so you can smell the ocean as well. And the beautiful part about this is the dry down. So opening is fine. The dry down is where they've got this creamy olibanum. Yeah, just like here they've used a Opopanax, myrrh. They've used, it's the same family of incense, so they've used olibanum here, which is quite creamy, and I like that. It's masculine. It's basically a fragrance for hot weather. Hotter it is, the better it smells. Yeah, and it's very confident and classy and modern. Major compliment magnet. So if you're in your 20s, you should try this. Excellent for date night or clubbing. Tremendous projection. Longevity, I would say about 8 to 10 hours. So this is a heavy performer. So that's Aqua Amara. Next on my list, this is number 4. This is basically an upper class elegance, but some people might think of this as a slightly mature fragrance. I've done a full review of this one. Gala Rouge. What can I say about this fragrance? There's so many facets to this fragrance. So it starts off lemony. Then it brings in a vanilla and leather. Then there's a carnation note. So there's a floral heart, beautiful rose, and I believe carnation and geranium. So that carnation can make you think as if this is a slightly mature scent. So don't bother with this if you're 20 plus, but do sample it. But in my view, this is the most elegant, classy, and sophisticated beast mode summer fragrance because of that lemon. The lemon up top for 2 hours, it just guns out. I wear this with so much pride because I adore this fragrance. Absolutely love it. So Rouge, tremendous performance. Yeah, 12 hours minimum longevity. In terms of projection, at least 2 to 3 hours of huge projection. So watch this phrase. It is also very heavy because of the leather that comes in the middle. It's very heavy fragrance. But it doesn't get cloying. There's no sweetness in this. It's all citrusy elegance. Highly recommend this. Elegant work fragrance, date evening fragrance. Excuse me. I wouldn't bother this wearing to clubbing. It doesn't go with the nighttime situations. But if you smell this, if you sample this, you'll be hooked. I promise you. One of the best fragrances I can recommend. Very elegant. Next one on my list is fast becoming my favorite. I really enjoy this. It's Prada Luna Rosa Carbon. Now, this is very similar like Sauvage, but I don't like Sauvage. At least the opening of Sauvage is off-putting. Anything very sharp and on your face, I can't deal with it. This is like a very smoothed out, elegant version of Sauvage. So it's got very strange notes. It's got metallic notes, coal, ambroxan. This is an ambroxan blue scent, like Aqua Amara is a blue scent. So this is a blue scent, but there's this elegant charm about it. There's this fruitiness about it, almost as if you're smelling pineapple. So I love this fragrance. This is such an elegant, sexy fragrance. This is one of those fragrances that if you wear to a clubbing or an evening date in summertime, you are absolutely guaranteed to get a compliment. Look at the usage. I love wearing this fragrance when I'm hanging out with my friends, evening time. And every time I've worn this, I've got curious inquiries by my friends by saying, we can smell you from a mile. This thing projects, and it's got one of those qualities, look at me kind of quality. Very brilliant attention grabber. Highly recommend this for a hot weather situation. Now, last two left. Next one on my list is a Terre de Hermes Flanker. I've been talking about this fragrance quite a lot recently. This has got none of that dirty orange, earthy orange thingy. This is again very synthetic and major performer. This thing just goes and hits everybody. But it's more centered around citruses and vetiver. The vetiver is very strange. This is not your green vetiver. This is very dry, woody vetiver. But somehow this whole fragrance is more than the sum of its parts. I'm going to do a full review soon, but it's mostly citrus vetiver with some strange sort of woodiness to it. Totally synthetic, but smells amazing, especially daytime when it's super hot because it's so dry. This fragrance is completely dry, not a hint of sweetness. This will go beautifully in a very hot country. So highly recommend this. Watch out for my full review. I'm still testing it. Worn it quite a bit, but it's not very hot here. I'm waiting for the weather to become really hot, because I think this will be a stunner in really hot weather. So the last one on the list. Last year, this was one of my most complimented fragrances. I recommended it to a friend of mine. He took it on his holiday. He came back and gave me the feedback. He said, on most occasions, I was probably the most smartest smelling guys in the group. He was in a group. And this is a Prada. This is L'Homme. I have huge respect for all the L'Homme flankers. This one is special. Excuse me. Prada L'Homme L'Eau. This is a neroli based fragrance, yeah. But along with neroli, I find it very difficult to explain this fragrance. I've sprayed it. Along with neroli, you have iris. So there's this lipsticky vibe. You also have powdery notes, yeah. You have woody notes, leathery notes. So this is again one of those fragrances which is greater than the sum of its parts. And because this smells so elegant, so modern, just pure class in a bottle, you're going to get serious compliments. And to top everything, this is a beast mode performer. It projects like nothing. I mean, it just goes and hits people. If you go 6 sprays, you'll fill up a room. So these two are probably the biggest performers in this list in terms of projection. So Prada L'Homme L'Eau. I haven't reviewed this yet. I'm waiting for the weather to turn a little bit hot and I'm going to review it. In my list, one of the finest summer daytime fragrances I can recommend for a very hot country. If you live in a hot country, this is my top recommendation. And it smells amazing. Soapiness is there. It's just class. Pure class in a bottle. Hugely sexy. Yeah. Hope you like the review, fellas. Hope you like these fragrances. And if you do sample these fragrances, I hope you're going to enjoy them. And if in your experience you have a fragrance, a designer fragrance that lasts more than 6 hours and projects more than 2 hours, let me know. I'd like to do a part 2 as well. I've got a few more, but yeah, I'd like your feedback about beast mode performance in hot weather. Hope you like the review, fellas. Take care. Bye-bye.